Please.
Hi everyone, good evening. I'm Kuni from IFA. We're based in Japan, Tokyo, so we come here from Japan, obviously. And thank you for the introduction. As he said, we're engaging in the next generation bank system, but it's not the bank itself. It's very misleading, I'm sorry. We do is data bank, and I'll explain it to you later. But before we start, please allow me to introduce myself. Oops. And for me, personally, I'm not from the technology industry. I'm not from business side. I was always doing the volunteer, as you can see. And I was very focusing on well-being of the people. How can I help everyone? And of course, I was engaging very hard, but I realized it's not enough. It's not enough to do something by myself, just one person. And the infrastructure we have is based on capitalism. So it's never be able to truly help someone, because if you want to use services, you need to pay the fee, transaction fee, whatever. So I thought, what's the asset everyone has? Everyone has information. If you say you don't have money, it's also one information. And currently, people are talking about the information is going to be the next generation asset, but there's no platform to utilize it, to monetize your information itself. Because it's going to be kind of disrupting thing for the existing companies. And how we do is, as I said, a data bank. So of course, almost everyone using the bank accounts, and bank, if you put money onto it, you can get interest out of it. And that's a very simple concept. And you can do exactly the same thing with your data. So you put your data onto a platform, and then the third-party companies, when they use it, and we make profit, like existing digital marketing companies. But what we do is we provide those profit that we make onto the end users. So basically, you can monetize with your own data. So as I said, this is the very simple concept of the bank, how it works, as you know. And this is the data bank we propose. So you put your data onto the data bank, and of course, in return, you get reward. But the new thing is, every time we use your data on behalf of you, on behalf of your trust, we make profit. And that's very simple. And then we give back the profit that we make to the end users, as I said. And so maybe you're wondering, how are we going to make profit? That's when crypto and blockchain comes in. Because nowadays, in capitalism, of course, I'm not saying capitalism is bad, don't get me wrong, but if we use crypto, of course, we're going to be the issuer. And we can provide those profits, because we're going to issue our token, and every single entity that join our platform, they need to hold our token. So the more entity comes in, the higher price goes up. And that's very simple. And that's the new model of the business side. And that's why I was very focusing on the volunteering and not on the business side. But with the crypto, I realized maybe I can achieve my goal. Maybe I can achieve my dream of the well-being, or the true well-being for the end users. And not only for the end users. Data bank, as you can see, is for the startup, local governments, other industries who wants to go to the new industries. And currently, we are talking with the local government in Japan. I can't disclose where it is yet. But those people are suffering because they don't have enough information, they don't have enough data to analyze how to attract people from outside. And people are desperate to do something new, but new doesn't mean good all the time. So what we want to create with them is a smart city, and I'll explain to you the DID. So DID, of course, people are talking about nowadays, how to, you can use DID with our platform, blah, blah, blah. But the most important thing is to connect real world, offline and online. And as I mentioned, the data bank, if you put your data and you can get money, so you might be thinking, yeah, maybe we can lie to you guys. Yeah, of course, maybe. But so that's why we need DID, because authenticity of the data is the key of the trust of our data bank. So if you put your data on our platform, and that's going to be transferred to the DID, and every time if you want to use DID to the reservation of the restaurant or go to the hospital, if you lie to us, you can't get the services that you want. So of course, we're not going to force end users to be honest. It's impossible. But with the local government we're talking to, once we have the connection between online and offline, and people trying to use DID as a real identity, and then if you want to use it, you need to be honest with it, because otherwise you can't get the services that you want. So the DID is merely the interface for us, interface for you to put your data onto it and how to control your data. And of course, we're not going to use data as long as you say no. Of course not, because it's against the ethical problem we have nowadays. So every time you say yes, you can get reward. And then if you don't want us to use your data anymore, very simple, you can just swipe right or swipe left, whatever. And then, so that's why I said we would like to be the bridge of the online and offline as a data bank. And lastly, credit scoring. It's not the very main focus for us, but look at that data. Currently, those people high score, as you can see, it's credible. So what other financial institutions doing is just visualize those people who already been credible, and they're just visualizing it. So that's why there's a few very tiny market for it, especially in Japan. And those people who actually need is those people on the red. New credit scoring criteria, yeah, it's easy to say, but how? So we get the hint from the Thailand. So Thai farmers, they don't have bank accounts, but they need money, they need funds to expand their businesses. And what they do is based on how many crops that they make annually. And so those tiny informations are very essential. Nowadays, people get doing the credit scoring based on the SNS followers, but that's not enough, because as I said before, you can lie to us. So if everything connects it with online and offline, the credit scoring is very valuable. And I'm not talking only about the financial institutions. Also, I'm talking about HR. Of course, if you're looking for a new job, and of course you can say, yeah, I can do this and do this and do this. But we don't know you, and how we can trust is the recommendations from other people. And how can we trust other people to go on and go on? So once we establish the new criteria of the credit scoring, it's going to be much easier to use credit scoring daily basis. And the credit scoring won't determine your life like existing credit scoring. Because once you've been said no, then it's really hard to bounce back from the status that you're in. So that's the three things that we're currently engaging in. And crypto, for me, and blockchain also, are merely tools to achieve the goal, to achieve the vision I have. And I'm still young, so people might say, yeah, you're too young. But I'm sure, I believe that the crypto and blockchain enables us to make new business model. As I said, we don't have to make profit. And we don't have to, ultimately, what I want to do with this IRA is we don't have to exist as a company anymore. Because company has a risk to bankrupt. And of course, as a company, we need to make profit, but we can cover it with token issue. So, as I said, we're going to be the data bank, we're going to do the TID, we're going to do the credit scoring, but what if we bankrupt? I can't promise you that. Looking at, all those history, how big it is, doesn't matter. We might bankrupt at some point. So we need to have sustainable ecosystem, sustainable business model that people, end users don't need us as an intermediary. And that's what I want to achieve with IRA, and I'm pretty sure we can. Because the world is moving toward that identity, idea, and ideal world is going to be like that. And of course, we are a Japanese company, and we're based in Tokyo. And I think there are few Japanese people outside of Japan, because we can't speak English that much, and we are very isolated, to be honest. When it comes to crypto and blockchain industry. And thanks to this conference, I get to talk to a lot of people from outside Japan, and people are very eager to know Japanese market regulation and everything. And so that's why we've decided to do the incubation ourselves. And incubation doesn't mean help people like a technology-wise or the fundraise-wise, but also the education. And education, I mean the philosophy. How to make world sustainable and how to make the world much better than we think. And of course, environment as well. And all those ingredients to make the world better. We can't be just one project. Also, we need to have the community, we need to have the incubation, we need to have the supporters, we need to have the partnerships outside of Japan. And hopefully, after this presentation, you'll be interested in us. And we have the booth up there, so if you're interested in us, please come talk to me, and thank you for patience.